not approve.
Oh, mercy.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
The night after scoring 14 runs against the Braves, the Orioles mustered just one against those same Braves in a 5-1 loss. And we're breaking it down here on MASN All Access Extras. We're joined by Jim Hunter. And Jim, the Orioles could not get to Huascar Ynoa through the first 4 innings of this outing. And then once you get to that Braves bullpen, one of the better bullpens in all of baseball, gets really difficult to put up some runs.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it, Paul. I think we have to remember Atlanta is a first-place team. Many regard Atlanta to possibly reach the World Series in the National League. I know the Dodgers would have something to say about that. But if you look at the playoff standings, they began the day today tied for the second-best record in the National League. Only the Dodgers, and the Dodgers were 5 games ahead, yeah, but only the Dodgers had a better record. So you kind of expected after the clunker from Atlanta's perspective last night for them to bounce back. And their pitching was the difference. I mean, Ynoa was masterful. I don't think he threw one pitch that was straight. Everything was breaking, dancing all over the place. And with younger and inexperienced hitters, you're going to have ups and downs, and you have to do it again. You know, once a book is out on a hitter, an opposing team that has superior pitching will be able to exploit that. But I thought the Orioles stayed in. I mean, it was a 2-0 game going to the 9th, and a few runs added on there before the Orioles finally got one in the bottom of the 9th. But again, when you're a young team, and we have to keep reminding ourselves, this is all about the future, and all these experiences are going to be invaluable going ahead. You have to learn how to get that consistency out of your ability. I believe they're learning that. Now the next part of that is executing that consistency, which, as you know, in the big leagues is not very easy.
Yeah, I think it's easy to get caught up in a wild card race, but you put it perfectly, sure. Jim. It's good to remember the long-term picture, and consistency is something that does come with experience. And on the Orioles side, pitching-wise, they had Thomas Eshelman start this game, went 3 1/3, but really wasn't all that bad. Gave up 2 runs in this one. A guy who has made some spot starts for the Orioles during the 2020 season and maybe was on the wrong end of some difficult umpiring behind the plate tonight.
Well, I know Ben McDonald and pitchers do know this. The umpire was not a low ball, low strike umpire. And on that box they have on the telecast, I mean, there were several. And I remember back when I called games at CBS Radio and Johnny Bench was my partner, he used to remind us all the time, it's not where the catcher catches the ball, it's where it goes through the strike zone. Because keep in mind, the catcher is behind the plate. And there were so many of those pitches, and Ben made a really good point pointing that out, that as they went through the strike zone at the bottom end of the zone, they were strikes. Now, where Severino caught the ball, it might not have been a strike then, but that doesn't matter. As it goes through the zone, it's supposed to be called a strike. And unfortunately, a lot of the younger umpires, and that was a young umpire, Addison, behind the plate, they react to the framing as opposed to watching the ball go through. And Eshelman, who thrives on keeping the ball down, especially this year, because last year, don't forget, he was plagued by the home run ball in his brief time with the Orioles. And in Camden Yards, it's not a bad idea to try to keep that ball down, become as much of a sinker baller or low in the zone pitcher as you are. And he wasn't helped. And again, we have to give credit to the Braves side as well, because this is an experienced lineup. They won the division last year. Even though they have a lot of young players, they're young veteran players who have been through a lot. And they understand, oh, wait, if he's not calling that, we're going to make him bring it up in the zone. And even though Eshelman kept them in the game, which, by the way, is the starter's number one job. If he gets the W, that's all the better. But his job is to give his team a chance to win. And despite the inconsistencies in the strike zone, especially at the lower end, I thought he did his number one job. He gave them a chance in this game.
Well, the Orioles will send Keegan Aiken to the mound tomorrow in the final game of this 3-game series against the Braves. But, Jim, thanks so much for hopping on MASN All Access Extra to break down this 5-1 loss.